They're back my little Lonicera that I started from a small twig cutting, and as you can see here, back at the start of the year, it was looking nice and full and very overgrown. It's an evergreen, but more importantly, it's a very dense and aggressive grower. So there's just sort of branches all over the place here. It's hard to actually see any structure in there, which means I need to go in and thin it out, or I'm just going to end up with a big ball of foliage, which is not really what I'm after. I didn't film the pruning, but I'm sure you get an idea of what that looks like now. But here it is after. So I thinned it out quite a lot, but I would still say there's a lot of branches that need to go. As this tree grows, they're all going to be a bit close, but for now it's fine. I want to leave myself with a few options, then later on I can decide exactly what I want to keep or not. There's no point taking it all the way back to a stump right now, since it's pretty much just a little twig. It looks a bit weird, but we'll see what happens with it. And as you can see, there are a lot of roots growing out the bottom. It really is an extremely aggressive grower. In March there's some movement, but it's not much. It is waking up, but I don't think you can quite see it from here. If you look at the tips, you can start to see little purple buds. So I'm just going to wait until these are a little more pronounced, then I'll repot it. These trees are fast growers, but they seem to be very slow to thicken. Probably doesn't help that I've put a tiny twig into a tiny pot, but what are you going to do about it? I know it needs repotted, as the roots are clearly showing they have filled the pot. A few weeks later, and those buds have really started to swell, and they're pretty much open, so it's time to get to work. I'm obviously going to have to start with these exposed roots. I struggle to get most trees out of their pots, but this one is going to be impossible if I don't cut these back first. These would have to be removed anyway, so it's all good. Once they're all trimmed back, I just remove the moss. I'm not keeping it as it'll grow back easy enough on its own. I then just rake the top layer and try and loosen everything up. I also used a knife around the edge. I could just feel from holding it that this pot was jam-packed of roots, so it's not going to come out easily. And then I just made sure those roots were not gripping onto the holes. You can see here I'm using a lot of force to pull on it and it's not moving at all. Then after another wiggle, some more knife and a good bit of force, it popped out. And as you can see, it is indeed a solid mass of roots. I then just took a while to rake it all out. After I was left with this, it's a bit scruffy, but I think you can tell there is some potential in there. I then just trimmed it back to clean it up and balanced everything out. It's clearly going to grow a lot more roots, so I don't need to be too precise. I can just hack it back. Now you can see it's not too bad. It's an okay little root ball. Not perfect, but I'm happy enough with it. It's also quite flat, which is pretty good for a tree started as a cutting. And then just pot it back up into this tiny pot. It's doing fine in here for now, so I'll just keep it going. Here it is in April. There's not really much going on, but you can see those buds are still opening. In May there's definitely more foliage on it. It's looking nice and healthy. In June you can start to see some of the new shoots are looking nice and long. I thought about pruning it, but I'm just going to leave it. there isn't too much in July. Basically the summer never really came, so it didn't take off like it normally would. And here it is in August, where it's healthy enough, but no crazy growth. In September, it's pretty much done growing for the season, so nothing epic, but that's fine. It's just been a bad season for everything here. In early October, a few leaves already started to turn yellow, which just shows how bad the season is. Normally this would be happily green much later into the year. And here we are now, where it's definitely shut down for the year. So hopefully next year's better. Thanks for watching, see you next time.